Hey, Sean here from SpeedCubeReview.com. I was asked a long time ago by GhostCuber to try to figure out if there's actually an issue with the timers and their accuracy, specifically YJ. And I planned on doing it, and then I just didn't. So I feel bad about that. I apologize. I did do it. And how am I going to actually get the accuracy of the timer? So I don't have some crazy elaborate mechanism to start and stop the timer with pinpoint accuracy. So what I did was I tried to start and stop the timers with the tips of my fingers, because that's going to be the most solid piece and it's not super squishy, and frame count. So I set my camera to 240 frames per second. If you're watching this video at its full 60 frames per second glory, you're seeing it at about a quarter the speed, and every frame is a different movement. So what I did was I tried to lift up my hands right at really fast so you could count the frame the hands lifted off. Often it was one hand moved a little before the other, but if you have one hand off, the timer will start. So I started the frame right when it looked like one hand lifted off, and then I stopped the timer right as both hands hit down. And I was really surprised with the results, mainly how accurate the results were. I started with the G5 timer. The start frame I just put all the videos back to back. So the start frame was frame number 2078, end frame was 4455, which means the total frames are 2377. And first I just found an estimated time for those frames. The estimated time is 9 seconds, 0.904. So each frame is about 0.004 seconds. We should be a little bit nicer and say 0.005, just because if we round up, that'll be just safer. So if we're counting frames and I can actually get the exact frame where my hands lift off and put down, that gives us 0.005 below or above that number. So we have some leeway with these numbers, and that's saying that I can find the exact accurate amount. There is a delay. There will always be some sort of delay in when you start the timer and the pads telling the timer that we have started, as well as when I stop. But theoretically, those should balance out. So my estimated time for the G5 timer was 9.904 seconds by counting the frames, and the actual time was 9.901. So there's a difference of 0.003 seconds, which completely fits within that range. When I tested the GAN timer, the difference was 0.01 seconds, which is again just about within that frame. And of course, I could have counted one frame off here or there, so that is perfectly fine. What was really funny is the G4 timer, no difference. The amount of frames I counted gave me the estimated time of 9.908, and the actual time was 9.908. So then we get to YJ, and YJ was the one we really were wondering about, and the difference is 0.001. From my simple test I did, the YJ timer is just as accurate as any other one. So then I tested Yushin, and that timer was 0.001 difference between my estimated and the actual one. The only one I had an issue with was Qiyi, and it took me 3 tries to actually stop the timer. Now, there was a lot of cube lubrication that fell on the timer, so I'm wondering if that messed with the pads. And when I frame counted, it was off by 0.152 seconds. So I think my timers might be messed up on that one, so I'm just not even going to really count Qiyi. With just my simple frame counting of this, the G5, G4 from StackMats, GAN, YJ, Yushin, they're all accurate, and they all seem equally as accurate. I would need something to test it much more accurately than just frame counting and trying to hit it with my hands. I think maybe what might be better is using a actual like a stylus, so you get more points on it, but it seems that you need more contact than just one spot. I found I couldn't even do, I had to do sometimes 3 fingers to get it started. Hopefully this help clears things up. If you've heard about this rumor, this issue, I don't see any issue here with what I tested. There might feel like there's a difference because of the timer being flat or rounded, or maybe the screen timer refreshes differently than the actual hand timer. If you plug a timer into a display or CS timer, you know that those times are different until the time actually stops and it has a second to process and give you the real one. Thank you very much for watching. Leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. And as always, stop by speedcubeview.com for more news and reviews.